Okay, so this is the basic physics model of my flag simulation, which is a spring and particles model. Like you connected each particles by spring, then you got a closed simulation. And this is in 2D, although it looks like 3D. So now this is the 3D closed model. Is still programmed by the same physics model, which is spring and particles model, and it's rendered in 3D spaces, which you can see by the rotating camera position. Yeah. So our flag will be built on this kind of physical model and add some features like tearing apart and maybe breaking, and also like wind blowing, and also we would like to add the texture to make it more realistic like a flag. Okay, so now is the final demo of the flag simulation. First, as you see, there's some wind breeze in the simulation because I added it as a plane noise, so make it more realistic, but not just like flattening down. And also, I've added some like controllable parameters like the wind direction and the strength. So you can blow it to the right, and also blow it to the left, and also up and down, and also front and behind. Like the wind part is relatively easy because you just apply forces simulating the wind to each particles on the flag. Then the spring and particles model will done the job. Yeah, it's relatively easy. And the texture make it more like a flag. You just do the UV mapping to the each particles. Yeah. Then next, I would like to show some more features that I've added to the simulation. The first is the penetrating effect. Like just imagine if you are shooting at the flag and it is broken by the bullets. So like now I'll start the simulation. Like yes, there's a hole and there's another hole, a lot of holes. Yeah, if you make it enough, then like they're broke in the same part together. So this is done by breaking the spring between the the center of the penetration, like breaking all the springs but around it. So like also the spring and particle model will done the job. And yeah, the position of the hole is totally random in this simulation. And next, there's another features is called tearing. Now I'll tear the flag apart, but notice that the trail of the tearing isn't randomly. I programmed it, but in theory, it can be programmed randomly since it is also like done by deleting the spring between particles. So as long as you can have the trail which is cut through the string, then you can like cut all the strings along the trail. Then you can do arbitrarily trails for tearing. So now let's tear it. Yeah, so it flows away, and notice that there's a little bit tricky and a little bit challenging to like do the texturing when you are breaking it apart or making hole on it. Since if you just naively do UV mapping, then even you delete the string, the texture will still connect it together, and it will look like some like stretching weird textures. So the trick is like to separate the drawing of the separate the texturing, like what the because in processing is done by drawing shape, so you can just draw two shapes separately when they are not connected. You just check whether the spring connected them together. If they're not, then you just draw another new shape. Start to draw another new shape. It's just like you just see whether if it is connected. It it looks cool, but like it's not that hard. Just need a little bit trick. Yeah, and the last feature is just to make it more like real flag, but it's basically hard coded. The feature is that when the wind is too large, the strength is too strong, then the flag will blow away. Yeah, it's really simple, but make it look a lot more realistic. Yeah, so this is basically my project. Thank you. Now there's a new function, which is you can drag the flag up and down, and while you're dragging it, the physics is still applied to it, like this.